Hello friends, this is Pastor Randy with the Wednesday Pastor's Chat, and I'm here at my house because this week has started kind of tough. Kathy's having some real issues with muscles and bones and nerves and is undergoing quite a bit of pain, so I'm staying here. And this is one of her trolls that she has quite a collection, and so one of the things I like about the trolls is even though she has designed early in childhood a barrette for the troll, one of the good things about them, you could shake them, you could twirl them, and their hair goes askew, and when you aren't feeling that good, that is a part of life. So this will be here as we are together. I had a group of questions that was given to me several weeks ago about all of the different changes of the meeting schedule of our levels of the church because of the COVID virus. Usually in just a couple weeks, we would have been at Lake Junaluska for annual conference, and our general conference, which is the major gathering of the whole church, delegates elected, that happens every 4 years, would have already been in May, but that's been delayed. So the way in which we're breaking it down this year is that on June the 18th, we will have a Zoom session of all of the executive session of the clergy of the annual conference of Western North Carolina. And this has to happen before the business of the full annual conference because we have to care for the ordering of ministry. And what that would mean is that the full connection clergy and laity delegates, laity members of the Board of Ordained Ministry are the only ones that can be a part of that and vote. And so we have to order ministry and vote on all of those who've been approved by the Board of Ministry or the district committees on ministry for candidacy for ministry. We have to vote on those candidates that have come through the Board of Ministry and have been approved for consecration as provisional members, either as deacons or elders. And also we have to vote on those that the board has approved for full ordination and full connection members. And also, being Methodist, we have to vote on leaves of absence, all kind of different changes in order. We even have to give permission for people to retire. And we've kind of chuckled to say that you almost have to get permission to die as a United Methodist pastor. So we do everything quite orderly. Then our annual conference, which will be a very condensed session, will be in August on a Saturday during the afternoon, and the laity will be there for that. And we will vote on the necessary things of business that we have to take care of. A lot of the reports and sharing of ministry will not be able to happen. And the question was, will this lessen the laity participation? Not really, because they will have the same as the clergy in that session. And then later that evening, we will do the ordering of ministry, the consecration of provisional deacons and elders, and then the service of ordination for full connection deacons and elders. We've already rescheduled our general conference for next year at the end of August through early September in Minneapolis, where it was going to happen this May. And these are delegates from across the world that will be there. And they are the only group in the United Methodist Church that can set polity and doctrine of the church. And I was asked if I could give some information on some major legislation, but I don't want to skew that or to get anything wrong. So you can go online and read about some of the possible major issues that will be covered. Then the jurisdictional conference, and we're in the southeastern jurisdiction of the United States, will be meeting in November of next year at Lake Junaluska. And the major thing that the jurisdictional conference does is the election of bishops. And bishops are elected from all the eligible clergy, and they are elected for at least a 4-year term, and there's mandatory retirement like the rest of the clergy at 72, and they will be assigned to the annual conferences they will be serving after all of the needed bishops are elected. This reminds us that we're a connectional church. For example, when I was first ordained, I no longer was then a member of a local church, and until I die, I will remain a member of the annual conference and not a member of a local church. One of the strengths of being a connectional church is that we're able to accomplish ministry together that we would never be able to do alone. And if you think about the United Methodist Committee on Relief, which is one of the first groups that are on the ground in disasters and tragedies, and we're there for the long run. And when we give special gifts to support specific disaster relief, 100% of those gifts go directly to ministry because we share across the church in our apportionments in making sure that that structure is already in place. Another example of how we support one another is when this COVID disaster started and churches were not going to be able to meet safely in person, that the annual conference, because of required reserves of money that they have to have, and our United Methodist Foundation in Western North Carolina stepped up and said for the months of April, May, and June, the local churches will not be billed for their portion of the clergy medical insurance, nor their portion of clergy pensions. That is not a loan. It won't show up later. Is that because we've worked together and saved and invested well, the annual conference has said, we will help you, and you don't have to worry about this for 3 months. And that's quite a wonderful gift. At the same time, I continue in prayer for a number of our small independent churches that have to do things because of their polity on their own, and I'm really concerned about if they will be able to continue. Also, finally, the United Methodist Church is the only church that still has visible and real presence on the mall in Washington, D.C., between the Capitol and the Lincoln Memorial and the White House. The United Methodist building still stands and still has active leaders and servants there that are working to make sure that we are acting and we're giving input to our leaders about acting in peace with justice, freedom for all and equality for all, and compassion in all of our decisions. So I hope I haven't confused you too much. So have a blessed week. And thank you for your prayers for Kathy. Bye-bye.